And for Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lopes here at Worthen Arena. We are joined by Joel Walton, the head coach of Ball State men's volleyball. And coach, just finished up a practice right now. We're about a week away from the start of the season. What is this time like for you as a coach, getting your players ready for the grind?
Well, the season is long, Vinny, and we know that. And this time of the year, after the guys have been off for a couple of weeks, we're trying to get them back, get them going again, but we're really trying to avoid injuries at this time as well. So we're going to refresh them on our offensive systems, our defensive systems, try and make them as comfortable as they can be as we start the season.
Now, last season, you're the only team in the nation being in the top 5 for blocks per game average and digs per game average. How much of that defense is established here before the season begins, just saying the foundations of the blocking and passing?
Well, Vinny, those are two skills that we spend a lot of time with our team, and it's something we coach technically. It's also something we coach during the game, and we take a lot of pride in how our team plays defense. We want to put pressure on teams. We like the fact that the teams that we play against typically hit about 100 percentage points lower than they're used to on the season. Now, you know, the challenge for us the last few years has been, can we match our defensive performance with a strong offensive performance?
Well, talking about your team, you're going to need both playing the MEVA this season, a really deep conference. Do you feel, though, that this team has the capabilities to make a run and return to the NCAA tournament?
I do, and even though I'm very optimistic, I'm very optimistic about this team, even though we're very young. And if you look at our roster, we've got 20 guys on our roster this season. 14 of those guys are freshmen or sophomores. And even one of our upperclassmen, David Siebem, this is his first year in our program because he's a transfer from Quincy University. So I like the players that we have in each of our positions. We've got good backups in every one of our positions. I'm very excited about what this season holds, and I think our team will compete at a very high level.
Now, I have to ask, obviously last season ended with a near upset of Ohio State. That 5th game, how much have you as a coaching staff talked about that match at all to your team, or is that something that you've told your players to forget about?
No, we talk about it. As a coaching staff, we try not to talk about it too much because it is still painful to have been in a situation where we had a great opportunity to beat the defending national champion, and then we'd let it slip away. But some of the things that we did in that match, the way that our team competed, the way that we had our backs against the wall in a match that could have eliminated us, and yet we were able to fight back from an 0-2 deficit, get that into a 5th game. We had leads in the 5th game, 8-3. I know we had some lead, maybe 10-8, and then we were tied, I believe, at 12-12, 13-13. We're right in that match with a chance to win. We do talk about it, but really as we go into the season, that's not what our focal point is. Our focal point is going to be, what is this year's team about offensively? What is this year's team about defensively? And we've got to make sure that these guys understand that identity and take a great deal of pride in becoming great both in both those areas of the game.
And offensively, it seems like recently, every single year, you guys have raised the bar and continue to get better and better. What have you done, or what have you seen from your team this preseason offensively?
I've really liked the job that our left side attackers have done, whether it's Weiler or Reardon or Chinisi, David Siebem. We've got a really good group of left sides that are both passing the ball well and then doing a good job terminating. Chevs, as a sophomore who had a great deal of experience for us last year as a freshman on the right side, he's doing a good job, and I think, you know, we've had the ability, even some of the years where we were hitting very low percentages as a team, we would have dominant or middle attackers. Now what we've been trying to work on building is getting our pin attackers to be more offensive, more physical, and I think we're starting to make some inroads in that or in those positions.
Yeah. Also, with a unique situation this year, kind of a good option for a coach. You have a couple capable setters who are battling for that starting position. What are you looking at from those setters before you determine who ultimately gets that starting position? You know,
that position is full of intangibles. The most important thing, Vinny, is, are they locating a ball consistently for our attackers? Are they giving our attackers a ball that allows our attackers to be in rhythm? That's got to be number one. And then some of the intangibles that come into play are, how are they doing as a blocker? Are they a blocker that can hold their own, or are they a blocker that a team's taking advantage of? Or are they giving us opportunities with their serve? Can they go back and put on a point-scoring run with their serve? And are they playing back row defense? So those are the specific areas that we look at. But, you know, number one is, when they're on the court, what kind of a hitting percentage or efficiency is our team performing at? And if they're doing a good job and everybody's comfortable around them, then that's going to be the center that we've got on the court.
All right, and one final question. I know you're going to hate this because you're always focused on the first match, you know, so your focus is on Manuel, Lees McCray, but looking a little forward, BYU coming here, Stanford coming here, what does that mean to this program to get some big non-conference matches against those teams here on your home court?
Well, we're very excited, really, for our overall schedule. We think we're playing a good dissection of all of the teams from across the country this year. We've got more teams from the West Coast on this year's schedule than we have had in recent years, and that's really partly because of the two conferences, or the one conference splitting into two, the Big West becoming its own entity, and then the Mountain Pacific becoming a smaller group of teams. So we're glad for that change. We're glad for the opportunity both to play more West Coast teams, either at George Mason or out on the West Coast. We're thrilled that we've got some West Coast teams coming into Muncie, and the weekend that we play BYU and Stanford is the Don Shondell Active Ankle Challenge, which also provides an opportunity for us to recognize Don Shondell and everything that he's done for our program.